Now here's the better question then, because if you're dissatisfied with what he is, I'm fine with that. Why didn't you get a man that was going to be above you then, so you wouldn't have to have so much disdain for him?
It's so sad to say, and I am that one that I had no clue what to look for, expect in a man. I learned by just living life. I was never taught, and I had no clue. I really didn't, and I'm just now, sad to say, from you and Anton and listening to men on this YouTube platform. And I'm like, wow, that is, what a man should be and do. And that's what I've always wanted. I knew I wanted that, but I guess I didn't know how to get it. Because even with him, I made it very clear that I wanted him to be head of household, even though I'm making the money.
But that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I know now.
So what I'm saying is, and I don't want to derail the conversation, but what I wish you ladies would start to do is understand that if a man were in your position to start talking so ill about the mother of his children and his ex, how do you think the men that you would like to deal with would perceive this? Because he was your legal husband.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the father of your children.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that basically I divorced him because he no longer serves a purpose in my life because the children are out of the home and all he wants to do is sit around the house and smoke weed and so on and so forth.
Well, Kevin, I wanted to ask you something really quickly regarding this.
Point. And if that's true, I can't fault you for not wanting a man who's not productive. But is there a reason to run him down for it? Because is it a surprise that he is who he is?
Kind of.
Okay.
A little bit, because when we first was together, it was different. I just feel like it was that, you make an effort, you put your best foot forward. And then as time went on, I totally was being taken for granted. Let
me explain why I kind of know where you're going before you go, because I deal with women that kind of fit in your area every week. And over the last several weeks, I had a woman who was an attorney. And was your husband ever faithful or unfaithful?
No.
Men like this aren't producer males. You're a husband and he's a wife. So this is the end result of a genderless or a fluid or reverse role situation. This is a perfect example of a woman's biology will not accept it. If you could, you would take him out behind the barn and but no. But this is the same thing. With women begin to pick at their men, emasculate their men, beat them down, talk about them because your biology is saying you're not a provider. And this is like I said, you weren't taught, he wasn't taught. Actually, if you're around my age, we were taught that we're equals, and that don't work out. Ameera, what do you have to ask me?
I wanted to bring up the daughter because she's 14, so she's coming of age, and without the father there, I was just wondering how much of an influence that her father would have on her, based on what Miss Kaya is talking about, based on she's saying that he's not educated and he smokes weed all day, and now he's out of the home.
More than what his absence will happen, what comes out of your mouth is going to determine your daughter. And if you doubt it, go to check my channel right now. I have, over the last month, I've been talking about mother-daughter dynamics. And do you want grandchildren in the future?
Yeah, we talk about that, and I do not talk down to my children about their father. Okay. And he is still involved in their life as well.
Okay. 7% of all human communication is verbal. It's not what you say. The 93% of as an image professional, you get the right one today. And I'm going to tell you, what I've heard today is in that household and in front of your daughter. If you don't think your daughter, your daughter in and out, you can tell when she's sick, right?
Hmm.
She's been your daughter as long as you've been her mother. She knows how you feel about her father.
Well, yeah.
So my point is, this is where we get with this genderless or flipping situations. Women have a loss or lack of respect for men, and then they raise daughters to think of men where. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Um, in on a scale of 1 to 10, where have you taught your daughter to prioritize marriage and children?
Oh, she knows I truly believe that's the whole purpose
So
for
on a
us
scale of
women.
1 to 10.
Um, a 10.
Okay.
If she was in here right now, she would say
Okay.
that's all I've
So
shared with
uh,
her.
now, so that's what you're teaching. Do you have any more? How many kids you have?
2,
You have a son or a daughter?
a son,
How old is your son?
17.
How's he doing?
As far as
Maturation, stepping into manhood, self-image.
um, well, my son has he's a loner. He has ADHD, maldepression, and social anxiety. And so he's a homeschool,
Mhm.
and he's
Why you say those things? I also that's not a death sentence. I
yeah,
actually date somebody who has that, and she's extremely successful, very intelligent, and an Ivy
yeah.
League graduate. So often we lead with that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Well, the reason why I led with it is because he's homeschooling. He's kind of like in his own world.
he's
He
socially
is very
awkward like most
intelligent with the
homeschool kids.
computers.
He's
Yeah,
socially awkward like most homeschool kids. So basically, and here's the thing: I often work with a lot of parents who homeschool their children.
mhm,
You gotta, one thing I would say, the way kids are socialized is so important. They're getting their,
yeah,
and he's getting his entire download of men and women, gender dynamics, and things like that from YouTube. So
right,
it's one thing to tell your daughter what you want, but just you're a parent, just like I know, kids don't really listen to what we say. They look at what we do,
right.
and they model what we do. So as far as if the outcomes you want, are you guys officially divorced?
Yes.
How long you guys been divorced?
Officially, the date was September 13th of this year.
Mhm.
It took over a year to get it
Okay.
done.
So how, and so this, I don't know how you how do you teach your daughter that marriage and family is important? So after a divorce.
Um, I actually, when we were going through the divorce, and right after I left, I set both my kids down and spoke with them that I don't, believe in divorce. I really would prefer not to, but I was just to the point where I couldn't do it anymore, and I expressed that. But I did express to them that, you know, biblically, my faith
So in
is
other
that.
words, so don't be surprised if your daughters doesn't buy what you're saying.